Welcome back, design students. In this video I'm going to show you how to create some other shapes of glassware. I'm just going to very quickly show you this. Let me make a new scene here. Let me go ahead and save this scene. And create a new scene. So we can use other types of geometry to create glassware. We can use a cylinder, and we could simply switch to face mode and delete the top, and then we could double click the top edge, move it up, scale it out, and we have a glass. We could also bevel this bottom edge like so, not that much, just to round it off kind of a little bit like that, and extrude it to give it thickness. Now we could also use another cylinder. We could do the same thing. Sorry, I should do this first. We could go to the polycylinder node, and we could give it something like 10 sides, then delete the faces on the top. We could also go to edge mode, grab all of these edges and maybe bevel them just a little bit. I'm going to switch to vertex mode. I think I'm going to give it a little bit of a flare by scaling that out. And then, of course, we would extrude it. And I think I would extrude this outward, not that much. And that looks like another interesting glass shape. We could use a sphere. And this is one I did in my example at the beginning of the tutorials. We could switch to vertex mode, grab the bottom vertices, use the scale tool to flatten them out. You move them up a little bit, and then you could grab these, flatten them out, switch to face mode, grab these top faces, deselect these, oops. It's really hard to select vertices and stuff sometimes in perspective view. You got to make sure you're pretty straight. See, I didn't have them all selected there. Now I'm going to use an interesting selection mode here I want to show you. I'm going to select one polygon in that ring, this ring here, and then I'm going to shift and double click on the next one in the ring. Actually, let me just use the select tool here. Select one, shift, double click, and that selects the whole ring. Select one, shift, double click on the one next to it. Then I'm going to use grow, and that is shift greater than sign, and that grows the selection in both directions. And in this case, since I only had one ring here and one ring there, I selected the whole top. Then I'm going to move this down just a little bit, and then I'm going to hold down shift and extrude it up. Grab all the vertices, scale them out, use the multi-cut tool to cut an edge in here, and then scale that in, kind of get a bit of a flare there for a nice phase. And then, of course, delete the top faces and extrude it. Now, there's lots and lots and lots of things you can do here, all right? But in all cases, you should always smooth it. I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. Shift right click, oops. Switch to object mode, extrude. But in all cases when you do this, you should always smooth it. You can push 3 or 2, but either way you need to smooth it. And if the top edge collapsing bothers you, then you can use your multi-cut tool to cut some control loops. You're going to need one on the outside near the top. And on the inside near the top, as close as you can get to the top. And that keeps that edge from collapsing quite so much. You can also put one actually on the top. You can see how that sort of controls that taper. And you could make a you could make a bottle or some kind of something out of a square. You can make a vase or a decanter out of a square. You can simply use your scale tool to shape it, like so, like so, and then use subdivision mode to shape it however you want. Use your multi-cut tool to cut edges so you can continue to shape it however you want. Remember, you can hold down Shift and extrude different types of hold down Shift and scale, and then you can scale again and then extrude, and so forth and so on. And then we can use the bevel tool to bevel the edges, or just the edges we want, like maybe, okay, here let's so now I could use the edge tool to click this one and this one and this one. I'm double clicking to select those loops. Then I'm going to use the bevel tool. And then I could also use the multi-cut tool to give me an edge here and an edge here, so that I can use that vertex or this edge to round off the top a little bit. And a lot of times you just have to continue to experiment with shapes and try to get things right. And let's see what that looks like when we smooth it. And that looks pretty interesting. Needs a control loop down here at the bottom. So I don't know, there's lots and lots and lots of different things you can do to make glassware, and I encourage you to explore and be creative and have fun. And I'll see you in the next video.